an older sister. Her name is Lizzie, and this is the story of the trauma that she inflicted on me when I was a little kid. So when I was a little kid, they introduced this special new kind of Oreo, mint Oreos, and they had a green center instead of the white center, and I didn't want to eat it. And she told me, she swore to me, that if I ate this mint Oreo cookie at midnight, I would be able to fly. And she got her best friend in on it, Katie Rubin, looking at you, and Katie Rubin said that at midnight, they would all come to my window, knock on the window, we would all eat the Oreo cookies, we would fly. Or I would have previously eaten them, and then I would be able to fly. Well, guess what happened? I choked down the mint Oreo cookie, which was actually pretty good. And then I wait patiently, my little 6-year-old hopeful self, for my sister and her best friend Katie Rubin to come to the window and fly. And guess what happened? Nothing!
My favorite story is about my oldest sister, who's 7 years older than me, and we've always been very close, and she's always the person I used to go to for advice when I was younger, particularly when I was a teenager. But she went to college when I was 11, so she wasn't there for me to talk to when I was dealing with important issues with friends or boys that I liked, or that sort of thing. We started writing letters, and we wrote long letters back and forth, and I would tell her everything. I could tell her anything, because sometimes you can't tell your friends everything that's happening because it's about them, or it's about a boy you like and you don't want anybody to know. So my sister was always there, and we wrote letters. It was before email, it was before cell phones. It was too expensive to do long distance calls, so we wrote letters, and I still have all of the letters. So even though my sister and I were very far apart geographically at that time, the letters really brought us closer together, and we were very, very, very close at that time. Remembering that, I think I'm going to write a letter to my sister.
I'm actually the oldest of 4, and I guess growing up I was probably a little bit meaner and bossier than I should have been, like a lot of older siblings. Even when I was 5 and my little sister was about 2.5, I would make her color in my coloring books for me, and I told her if she ever colored out of the lines she'd be dead meat. So she would slave away for hours on my coloring books. But now we're really close, and I'm in touch with all 3 of them a lot, and so I just wanted to say, if they're watching this, that I'm really sorry if I ever traumatized you with my coloring assignments, and I hope we can all be friends.
I have a brother. His name is Matt. He is 7 years older than me. We fought a lot as kids, and you know, we were always on opposite sides right up until the moment that we got in trouble. And then my mom would send us to our rooms, and they were like stacked right up on top of each other. We had shared windows, and he built this little switch thing and light bulb that would go between his room and my room. So when I flipped my switch, it turned on his light bulb. When he flipped his switch, it would turn on mine. And anytime those switches got flipped, we met in the laundry room. And then I would go down the laundry chute, and then he would take me back to his room, and we would plot against our parents. And I think that that's a really good picture of kind of who we are. Like, yeah, we fight sometimes, but anytime we're in trouble, it's us against the world. And it's stayed that way through our whole adult lives as well.
I think the thing that sort of really encapsulates being a sibling is how much those relationships change as you grow. When I was little, I was very much into performing and was in dance classes and running around. But my brother, he was a gamer, and if I walked by his room at the wrong time and he happened to die, he would freak out and scream and, "You made me die, it's all your fault!" And I would just, you know, be slightly weirded out and walk away, like you do with your younger siblings. But now we're both older and buddies, and actually kind of ended up having the same job where we entertain people, and that makes me happy.
So I grew up with 2 sisters, and I was the oldest, and so I was always sort of getting into things and trying to boss them around. And I remember one particular night, I went out of my room into their room and hid in the closet, because I was going to show them I am the boss, and I'm going to scare the living daylights out of you. And I heard them coming out of the bathroom, and I heard them cutting off the light, and I heard them getting under the covers, and I heard them saying goodnight to each other and saying their prayers, and I was waiting for this moment. It was about to go down. I opened that door and I screamed at the top of my lungs, and these girls were so scared. It was amazing. It was wonderful for a big brother to have scared his sisters like that. And of course, I got punished. I went and got in my bed. My mother came in and she said to me, "I'm going to scare you tonight." as soon as you fall asleep. Do you know I stayed up all night? She never came. She never came. I learned a valuable lesson that day.
My sister's name is Allison, and the evil girl in Pretty Little Liars is named Allison. And when I was writing the first couple chapters of the first Pretty Little Liars book, I said to her, do you mind if you're the really mean, controlling dead girl? And she said, no, that's fine, because she is nothing like the really mean, controlling dead girl. So she is now this famous character, and she will always be the real Allison to me, in all of the good ways.